My fellow Jamaicans, my colleagues and friends and supporters of the greatest political movement in this region, the Jamaica Labour Party. That's right. Yeah. I greet you tonight with a sense of hope in the future. I had the great privilege of listening intently to the debate that took place over the past few days. And if I were a betting man, I could not find one single horse other than the Jamaica Labour Party horses to bet on. I listened attentively last night to the presentation by our Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. And I found in that presentation a sense of maturity, understanding, compassion. In fact, it was his compassion that I had hoped he hadn't extended so graciously, because the level of nonsense that was being promoted and the genuine intellectual robbery that took place by the President and leader of the opposition, Dr. Phillips, deserved to have been thrashed properly and sent to the boundary. But being the decent man he is, and I know him to be, always courteous and understanding. The one thing that has struck me about the manifesto of the People's National Party, that it constitutes nothing more. And if you've been around as long as I have been, this will be my 10th contest. I have been here from 1980. And the thing that I recall most vividly as one of the factors that led to the economic ruining of our economy, of our country, was the introduction of a giveaway program called the Crash Program. The manifesto of 2020 by the People's National Party is nothing more than Crash Program by a different name.
Hear, 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 hear.
And would lead to the greatest economic disaster, if ever allowed to be introduced into this country.
That's right. That's right.
And they have upped the price. They have risen to the point where they are expecting to squander $100 billion without adding 1 ounce of productivity to it. And then they say that our manifesto is based on, we are people-centric. Where was the people centricity when they needed a government to help the poor people of this country and turned years and years ago to the Jamaica Labour Party? It is the Jamaica Labour Party that is people-centric. It is the Jamaica Labour Party that is helping the people by building the economy so that the people will live a better and decent life.
That's right.
We are the people-centric party. And if there's anything that I have to comment on the Prime Minister's presentation last night, is that we must not allow the People's National Party to rob what is truly ours. That's the basis on which many of us joined this great party many years ago. And despite the ups and downs, in our hearts, we know we are part of the best movement in the country.
Hear, 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 hear.
Now, there has been talk about education. Make no mistake about it. And I hope the Prime Minister will overlook my excesses. But I have in fact been the Minister of Education for 1.5 years. Because at no time Has he ever interrupted or interfered with or tried to dictate any aspect of the running of the Ministry of Education, for which I'm eternally grateful, because we worked closely as a team. Closely as a team, minister without portfolio and portfolio minister, that has led to improvements in the Ministry of Education that is manifestly clear to all who are involved right now. We were on a very strong path in every sense of the word. Economically, in terms of education, agriculture, sports, gender affairs, culture, we were moving. It led the Minister of Finance in his presentation to say, feelingly, we are on the right path. That was his team. We are on the right path, and we were. But then came COVID-19, for which there is no manual. There is no playbook that you can refer to. You are left to be creative, hardworking, committed, making decisions. Not all of them are going to be absolutely correct, but you are left to utilize the intellect and the team spirit of those who lead. And I can say this, that throughout this pandemic, I have observed at very close proximity the actions of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has acted with a sense of maturity and commitment second to none. Second to none. With the intellectual capacity mixed with the compassion and determination to get us through this pandemic with as least damage as possible. Takes a special skill. And you know, Desmond, I heard you speak of the former leaders of this great party. With the exception of the great and one and only Sir Alexander Bustamante and Sir Donald Sangster, I have served in the parliament with every single leader of the Jamaica Labour Party. And I can state here tonight categorically that if not, certainly close to being, the best of the lot is the one we have now, a true son of the soil, young Andrew Holness, who is our present Prime Minister.
Yes.
Jamaicans, we cannot and we must not turn this progress back. We cannot run the risk of putting this country back in the hands of careless people, people who speak with forked tongue. At one hand, they are telling you how necessary it is to be prudent financially. And on the other hand, they are willing to squander everything that we have worked so hard to achieve by successive administration. So desperate is their thirst for power that they are willing to sacrifice the lives of our people to achieve it. We cannot allow that to happen. We need a Prime Minister and a team that are made up of highly intelligent and caring people, forged in the fire of everyday life, understanding the needs of the poor, springing from the poor. That is what we need, that kind of leadership, that kind of commitment. And I have every reason to feel confident in the future, because I know that my Jamaican people will not let us down. I know that they know what is best, and they see the leadership that they know will bring them the level of prosperity for themselves and their families. So I won't go into anything more. I was going to talk about education, but we'll be here all night. Thank you very much.